Welcome, everyone. We are so excited to have Nick Goepper here with us, talking about his mental health journey. Back in 2018, Nick actually spoke at our Spring for Life event and shared a lot about his mental health journey. So we are super pumped to catch up with Nick and hear about what's happened since. So Nick, could you tell us, what have you been up to since 2018?
Wow, man, before 2018, it was a roller coaster. After 2018 has also been a roller coaster. And let me tell you, it's crazy the twists and turns that life takes, but it's been great. It's been really, really great. And I feel like I've grown a lot as a person, and I'm just really happy with the person that I'm becoming. I've had a lot of help from my friends and family and, therapists and stuff. And it's been a lot of skiing, a lot of traveling, a lot of, self-doubt at times, a lot of conquering that self-doubt. So it's been pretty cool. Awesome.
And I've heard you've had a lot of, personal growth as well, adding to your family. You got married, and I hear you have a home that you live in all of the time, that you own. Like, you are full on adulting.
We've hit our first sensitive topic. So I'm actually now divorced. This is important to talk about. I was dating a wonderful, wonderful girl for years, and we got married pretty quick. And, we just hit a rocky road, and I think we both made a decision to continue our lives. And there's a lot of sad memories and stuff, but, I think we're both doing better, and I think that we both learned a lot. So yeah, there's that.
Okay.
Got that out of the way.
Yeah.
That was part of the roller coaster. And yeah, so after that, I moved. I'm still in Salt Lake, but I just moved across town, and been a lot of healing.
Tell us some of the things you have done to take care of your mental health and your physical health as you've been on the roller coaster that is life.
Yeah, so while you're sort of looking at it right here, I love to get out in the backcountry and ride my snowmobile and ski, and here comes a loud noise.
That's perfect.
And so, I feel like my hobbies and the things I do to blow off steam, I ride a fine line between, I have a super addictive personality, so them becoming too fun and too much dopamine. And so, I blow off steam, and physically, I think that's so important, especially for somebody like me, to just exercise every day. If I have a day where I'm stationary, then I'm just not myself. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's awesome that you notice and name the type of personality you have, so that you can live in the balance of doing the things that make you feel great, but also don't put you at risk for other negative things. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Super important to have that self-awareness. Took me a lot longer than your age to get there, but you're doing awesome. Another question I have for you is, what has been the best part about sharing and being open with your mental health journey?
So the best part about sharing my mental health journey, my first thought is that hopefully I can help people and people hear my story, so on and so forth. But even before that, it's been being comfortable with it myself, talking about it and sharing it with the news or my friends or whatever has made me more comfortable with it, because I'm still it still sounds kind of awkward coming out of my mouth. We got to talk about mental health, so that's been the best part, because when I'm more comfortable with it, then I can share it and be more personable to people who are listening. One thing I've heard a lot in meetings and stuff is that, which took me a while to wrap my head around, but to be selfless, sometimes you have to be selfish. So I kind of relate that back is the more comfortable I am with talking about myself and my own feelings and stuff, the better I can relate it to people.
Absolutely. I was listening to a podcast recently, and the author of the podcast, or the host, I guess, said he doesn't even call it self-care or being selfish, but rather community care. Because if you're sick, I'm sick. And if, so it's a whole community. When I take care of myself, I'm literally taking care of the community around me. So it kind of feels that way sometimes too. I also love, not to gender stereotype everything, but oftentimes it's hard for men to talk about feelings and their mental health. So how has that felt for you? Has anyone made those comments or made comments around that for you? Or do you feel like it's really opened the conversation for your friends and the others
I think it's super
you?
open. It's cool. I mean, my friends, my close friends all know, my history. So it's super easy around them. But I just feel like the vibe, sort of us as a society, it's so much more, there's so much more exposure for mental health, that I never, ever get any sort of, backlash. So
that's awesome. In the Olympic community, do you feel like it has opened, you sharing your mental health journey has opened that conversation for your coworkers or your colleagues, if you will?
It's interesting at the Olympics because, I don't know, at least in my experience, it's super competitive, right? So there's a temptation for me to not show like weakness to my competitors. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because I want to appear, strong. So I stomp the competition, blah, blah, blah. That's like the alpha male in me talking. But the cool thing is that through the U.S. Olympic Committee and the U.S. ski team, they have really picked up the ball the last, 5 to 8 years. And there's all kinds of resources you can access privately for this sort of stuff. At the Olympic Village, we had like multiple therapists we could talk to, every day if we wanted to. I utilized that a couple of times actually when I was over there. So yeah, it's great. But I would say the Olympics is a very, very unique place for that, for like, publicly,
Yeah, absolutely. I have no experience to relate to in terms of being on the Olympic stadium or the Olympic level stuff, other than me believing I'm my own best person and best at whatever I do. What would you say to anybody who might be silently struggling? What would your advice be to them?
I would say find a trusted confidant and talk about it. Just talk about it. It's hard for me. I'm an introvert. I love my solace. I love being alone, most of the time. Sometimes it sucks. But the best thing that ever helped me was to talk about it, because you stop giving it power inside of you when you get it out. And it seems so simple, but especially if you can find somebody that can relate, that's the best part, whether it's a parent or a coworker or a friend or a therapist or whatever. You'd be surprised at what people will share if you are vulnerable.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I am always, obviously I work for a mental health nonprofit, so I'm quick to share my lived experience and my family's experience. And as soon as you do, it feels like everybody starts to tell you their lived experience as well, or somebody in their family who's navigating a mental health condition or working on a portion of themselves. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I have 2 last questions. 1, what are your top 3 go-to coping strategies or tools you have in your toolbox for staying well?
First one, which is the best and also the hardest, is to talk to people. Pick up the phone that weighs 100 pounds and just talk to somebody. Call your friend, call your parent. It's so hard to admit that you're not doing good sometimes, but that is the best way I find. The second best way is to exercise. Go out, pull off some steam, sweat a little bit. It's easy for me because I do it for a living, but if you just exercise and just get out and be around nature, it is so beneficial. And number 3, just check off some tasks. Don't burden yourself with busy work, but I mean, make your bed, clean up the living room, just sort of do some little things that can boost morale, because I think that, that just snowballs and it just gets bigger and bigger. I find that, like, wow, my house is so dirty, I got to clean the whole thing. It's like, no, just clean the sink. Just do that. And it's like so hard to do that, but once you do that, then it's just, you get on a roll.
Absolutely. Totally agree. I also am a believer in the nature. Unfortunately, Cincinnati weather doesn't always allow us to be out.
Yeah.
But in the summer, I love to tell people, this is so silly. My neighbors think I'm so bizarre, which is partly true. But we have this 100-year-old giant tree in our front yard. And when my kids are just like running around and being nuts, I have 3 boys, so I'm sure you can imagine that home situation, people hitting each other all the time. But anyway, laying under this 100-year-old oak tree and just looking up and just like breathing, like that's all I need, right? Just to breathe and have the trees behind me.
Totally.
So I'm very jealous of where you are right now. One day I'll get back out there and it will be amazing. Yeah. Last question for you. What are you most excited about for the future?
I'm most excited to just grow as a person, everything, as an athlete, as a boyfriend, as a partner, as a homeowner, as a roommate, as a son. I'm just trying to, I have my addictions, like my hobbies and stuff that sometimes I can't put down, but I'm just really so excited to just sort of work on everything else that's going on right now, because I've had my foot on the gas and I've just been tunnel vision for like the last 18 months. So finally, I feel like I can free up some, mental energy and get to all that other stuff. So
that's awesome. I'm assuming the tunnel vision foot on the gas for the last 18 months has been around your work.
Yeah, totally. Skiing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. It's been fun. It's been amazing and rewarding. But everything, at least in the back of my mind, is like, do I want to stay out late? Because then it might like screw up the next 2 days. Do I really want to go skate because I could crash, some stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely. And the older you get, the later you stay up, the harder it is to get up and do the things you need to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Nick, so grateful that you gave us your time today. We love following along with your journey, both your career and your sharing around your mental health journey and how you continue to stay well. You help so many people, some I'm sure you don't even know, right? That you have never even met. And that is the beauty of sharing our mental health journeys and our experiences, is the ripple effect that it has. Keep up all the hard work, and enjoy the fruits of your labor over however many months you get to just relax a little bit more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.